Welcome to the Friendly Frequencies podcast. I am your host, Carmen McLeod, and I am here to talk to you about my passion for spirituality and personal development. My purpose in life at this time is to remind you how powerful you truly are and that you create your own reality. If the mind, the soul, and the universe are topics that interest you, and you want to continue to evolve into your soul's purpose, then you are in the right place. Thank you for joining me as I travel the world and record my journey through self-discovery. Hello everyone. I apologize right in advance because I don't have my regular voice right now. I have been under the weather for a few days, and I also have been staying at a hostel, which means my voice is would probably be gone either way, so maybe it has nothing to do with the sickness. But this is a special episode because it's my last one of the year. What? Yeah. So I was thinking about doing something like kind of around that, like something, I don't know, looking back on the year or something around this, and maybe I'll do that next week because this week I have something really on the forefront of my mind, and I'm really eager to talk about it. And it's actually kind of a vulnerable subject. It's around relationships. So, but you know me, I'm an open book, so I'm just gonna talk about it and just tell you guys about the recent experiences that I've had with short-term relationships. It is honestly so exciting for me right now because I've never experienced this kind of thing before. And I actually didn't even know that short-term relationships really were, it didn't even really come across my mind. For me growing up, as I got into the dating world and had boyfriends and whatever, I always thought that it was either I'm single or I'm in a relationship where I see myself one day getting married to the person. Even when I was dating like my first boyfriend at 16, I still saw myself marrying him like way in the future. And for me, if I didn't see that, why would I waste my time with him? Like, that's how my mindset has been for the longest time. But something shifted for me, and it was when I went to the Women's Weekend. I've done an episode on the Women's Weekend a little while back in August, I think, would have been the episode. And this was a kind of a personal development seminar around relationships. And so if you want to know more about that, you can listen to that episode. But one major thing that I learned there, one huge thing that I took away was that there is a place for short-term relationships in my life, in somebody's life, in growing up before you essentially get married. There is a place for short-term dating, and this can mean many different things. This doesn't look like only, just having sex with people or just going on dates, or like it can be many things. It could be essentially any relationship that is short, and short could be one day, it could be 1 week or a couple months, or I don't know what the time limit would really be, but the point is there is an end date to it, essentially. I guess there's an end date to the relationship, and you guys can still, I guess, be connected, but there's an end date to your like romantic relationship with each other. And it can, at least this is just like my understanding of what a short-term relationship could be. I mean, I'm not sure, but I'm just going to talk about what my experience has been with these relationships over the last few months, since being in the Philippines. And I've learned a lot about myself, and I feel like through each relationship I learn a lot about myself, and each person will learn a lot about themselves through their relationships. And I've heard somewhere that a relationship is like holding a mirror to you. Like what you see in the other person that you love or what you don't love about them is what you really don't love about yourself. I don't know. Like a lot of relationships are very interesting, and I'm super passionate about relationships, about understanding the dynamics between people and the differences between men and women, and it's just really interesting to me. And also being a bisexual woman, like I feel like very open to so many different types of relationships. Like, so I feel like I'm at the point in my life where I'm just I'm just in a really, really great point in my life where I'm exploring small, or not small, short relationships, because damn, they are not small. They're huge. For me, this is huge. But they're short. And I'm learning how to navigate that, because in the past I never would have been able to handle a short-term relationship, because I've always been one to get quite attached to people. And so I'm entering this new world where I feel like I've grown up so much, where I'm able to really deeply connect with people, and I'm able to let go after it's no longer, it's no longer there, because I'm traveling. I meet people. I've connected so deeply with many people out here in totally different ways, and as much as it's hard to say goodbye, at the same time, it's a part of the process, and it's beautiful to be able to spend a small amount of time with somebody knowing that it's not forever. It just makes you cherish them so much more. So I'm going to talk about 2 relationships that I've recently had. Short-term relationships, like couple of weeks, one of them only a week, and how impactful they were on me, both of them, in totally different ways. So first, and I'm not gonna like name names or anything, I'm just gonna kind of talk about these 2 people, but kind of anonymously, leave the mystery there. I don't know, because I never told them that I'm making this episode, because I don't care. This is about me. But so the first guy that I was seeing in the Philippines, it was really an interesting, very, very interesting experience. I still can't even wrap my head around this person. Is very, very like a very interesting person, and I found myself very confused a lot of the time, and but it was fun. It was like exciting because he was very mysterious, and like I never really really knew what he was thinking, and he's just a very interesting character, and it's honestly hard to explain, but it's kind of not so relevant anyways. But it was just a kind of a fun experience, because I found it to be very mysterious, so then I was attracted to him, and it was very like, just very interesting the way it played out, kind of secret, and just like, honestly, it felt like a movie. Like it literally felt like there was many factors in it that made it feel like a movie, where I'm like, where just, there's some drama, and I almost found myself like attracted to the drama of it and all the factors that I don't really want to get into all of it, but like, so anyways, it was fun. But I found myself actually getting disappointed. I found myself disappointed because I had expectations of what I thought a short-term relationship would look like. And I know, like, my mom has taught me in the past not to have expectations for things, or especially around relationships, like not have expectations around how somebody is going to react to something, or have any expectations around what someone else is going to do or how they're going to feel, because then, it's just, that will lead you to be disappointed a lot of the time, because how am I supposed to know what someone else is going to do anyways. So, but of course, I still had this kind of image of, after we started seeing each other, I'm like, okay, so now, oh, okay, this is what I think that it's going to look like. Oh, this is going to be fun. Like, I knew it would be short term. I was not like, attached emotionally necessarily, but I did have some feelings, but it was just, but I found myself disappointed because he would kind of like leave. He kind of like would leave town and not come back, and then kind of come back later on, and then so kind of like coming and going, and like just like leaving me there to think about all of it while he was away. So anyway, so it just kind of like I found myself kind of, wishing that he was around, and then he wasn't. So then, but it was all on me, and so I found myself letting him drain my energy. And I found it like I was putting my energy into that, like kind of thinking about him a lot, and I didn't really like it because it wasn't making me happy. Like it was taking my energy away from things that I could be putting, there's more important things I could be putting my energy into than this kind of thing, right? So through that, I learned not to have expectations around what a relationship should look like, or what I think the relationship will look like. Just honestly, doing what feels right in the moment, and also just not placing any hopes or expectations on what could happen in the future, just being okay with whatever happens, because whatever happens, and just gotta go with the flow, right? So that's what I learned from that first relationship. So I left that area of the Philippines, went to a new area of the Philippines, and and immediately, like literally the next day, I met this other guy. I know this is crazy for me, because like I've never been one to see people like this, like I've never and I also just got out of a 3-year relationship coming from back home, and so like this is totally new for me. All of this is very new, so it's kind of fun and exciting, and like I'm exploring new things that I just like never really like have done before. So I meet this other guy when I arrive in the new location that I go to, and honestly, like, okay, this turned into the most beautiful short-term relationship I could have ever imagined, and it was everything that I ever thought. Like, it was more than I thought a short-term relationship ever could be. And so I only knew him for the last week. He just left a couple days ago to go back home, but I'm just reflecting on our time together, and I'm cherishing it so much, because it was so special, and like honestly, it was a spiritual connection that I felt with him. And like a different type of connection. Like I've connected with people in different ways. Like I feel like I have so many special people in my life that I've connected with in different ways, and this one is different all in itself, and it's hard to put into words. It really is. And I know the part of the brain, or at least I've heard that the part of the brain that is responsible for speech is not connected to the part of the brain that is responsible for emotion. So that's also why it's hard probably for me to describe this kind of thing. But also I don't even know at some point where, how, so let me try. So we were together for a week, and he introduced me to his friend group, and I spent on and off 1 week with them. Had so much fun, spent Christmas with them, and it was wonderful. But I think the beautiful thing here was, one, that I let go of expectations, and I think what I needed was to learn that from the first guy that I met, because that's where I learned, okay, now I know I'm going to let go of expectation. I'm not going to have expectations when it comes to this stuff, so that I don't get hurt or disappointed. And then that set me up for success